we're so excited about the GIIN's accomplished in the last 15 years, and love to get your perspective on what you'd like to see from impact investing for the next 15 years.
I think certainly I hope that we kind of continue to build a bigger table, like recruit more people into this community, whatever kind of is the most resonant metaphor for whomever might be listening or watching this, so that kind of more people, no pun intended, kind of feel invested in being kind of impact investors, whether they're sitting on kind of large tranches of capital or not. And so that's one of my first kind of foundational hopes, that we have more people who kind of self-identify, raise their hand, step forward to be part of this movement. And the second, of course, is that kind of we continue to have a constellation of citizen investors, impact investors who care about both protecting and advancing progress. Protecting progress that we have made on kind of building climate resilience, and also recognizing that, of course, we have so much more we need to do. Protecting progress that we've made on expanding access to kind of robust public health and healthcare delivery services, and that, of course, we have so much more to do. And so those would be my two hopes, if I'm trying to be succinct, which I am.
Thanks.
And I guess, I would just reflect them back to you. Like, what would kind of your hopes be, and what do you kind of hope this continued partnership between the Global Impact Investor Network and CGI could help both continue, but also catalyze for something new?
Yeah. Well, CGI played a really important role for us. We were launched in 2009. It was during the financial crisis. It was a time where there was a lot of change, a lot of opportunity, but a lot of uncertainty. And CGI gave us a great platform. We were able to, with this big ambition, but a very small kind of effort initially, get a bigger audience, connect with people. We participated in the action networks, and it really helped us spread the message and engage a lot more people, bring more to the table, as you were saying. So when I look ahead, we have a lot more work to do, and we see so much potential. We have a lot of momentum, and we're really thinking about how to scale impact investing with integrity. And I think CGI's platform and just the community that you've helped to cultivate can play such an instrumental role in the future of impact investing. So we're so excited about the next phase of this partnership.
One of the areas where I know we have kind of deep communion, if I may use that, is the importance of measurement. And certainly at CGI, we've always believed it's important to have kind of metrics of success kind of oriented in and engineered kind of from the beginning, so that we have real shared sensibilities of where we hope to go, but also then the ability to have mutual accountability is ideally we kind of go there together, whether on kind of education goals or climate goals or health goals or human rights goals. And I just have always so admired that that's been a similar kind of ethos with ever greater kind of precision for the purpose.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things, just to build on that, is the commitment to action, and just the commitments themselves, so that is so fundamental to CGI. We're very much a network of doers. They're all practitioners. And we do also believe, as you know, like that impact measurement is key. We think a lot about how to translate good intentions into real results for people on the planet. And as we think about building a market at scale, we see like sound measurement and precision and kind of a theory of change is so critical. So we make sure all those great intentions of all those investors around the world actually make a difference for the communities and the planet.
We often say we're in the business of how. Like, how do you get something done? Not only kind of why do you want to do something, or what do you hope to change, or with whom do you kind of idealize kind of yourself in partnership with, but then how do you do that? How do you think about kind of the end goal, and then kind of moving kind of chapter and verse, step by step, toward it, but always with, the right partners around the table.
Right. And that resonates as well. I mean, we think a lot about, how we actually get capital deployed. There's so many places around the world where you see great pledges. And we want those pledges to actually land in the world in real results that make a difference. And so our network is very much built around a network of practitioners, and also bringing together different perspectives. Some are from philanthropy, some are from government, most are from the private sector. But we believe that cross-pollination of different types of doers with different perspectives and different skills is really key to build the solutions that we need going forward.
Yeah, we totally agree. I mean, we think that kind of all of the kind of adages and mantras and sayings about, partnership have had kind of generational durability because we all kind of can bear witness to the power of partnership in our own lives, particularly when we have partners from across the different sectors, as you mentioned, because we understand that kind of different actors have different kind of fluency with starting something versus scaling something versus sustaining something, that different capital is better purposed kind of for different purpose. And that really, hopefully it also makes the work more joyful, right? If we're really learning from one another, listening from one another so we can learn from one another, collaborating, kind of building that kind of continuous sense of community, of shared purpose, hopefully that also then cycles back to the first question of like, how do we get more people not only kind of curious, but engaged and then involved for the long road ahead.
When as you think about this milestone for you, so we're marking our 15th anniversary, you're marking your 20th anniversary. Yes. What are your aspirations for the next phase of CGI?
It might sound boring, but really kind of more of the same, but with kind of ever more and different, dynamic partners to keep kind of pushing forward, again, protecting progress, because I think we do have to be mindful, particularly candidly in this moment, of protecting progress that we've made in all of the areas that our CGI community cares about, whether, again, thinking about kind of climate or health or education or economic opportunity, kind of inclusive economic growth. So protecting progress and then kind of further fueling it and hopefully accelerating progress for the future. And what feels different for me is I'm now a mom, so it's not only kind of intellectually and kind of civically and kind of from a social ethos perspective important to kind of do what I can to support the broader CGI community and our terrific partners, including you. It also now feels personal to me because this is very much the world that my children and all our children are growing up in, and God willing, will also have healthy, happy, very long lives.
Well, great. And one last thing that's on my mind is just that I really like your focus on what's working. And we think a lot about that as well, and particularly in this moment where there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of big needs in the world. I think the role that CGI can play in helping to demonstrate what's working and help showing people ways of where they can channel their energy to drive that progress and build that better future for your children and all of our children, I think is so important. So I'm really grateful for it.
Well, thank you. We spent a lot of time, certainly I spent a lot of time thinking about something that Jim Kim has said over many years, but did say, once on the stage at CGI, that optimism is a moral choice. And we believe the CGI community really is like optimism in action. Focusing on what is working, not being kind of naive or blithely indifferent ever to what isn't, but focused on what is working to then hopefully more quickly figure out how to ameliorate harm and suffering and pain to then be able to have more working in more places for more people, kind of with greater progress for all of us ultimately.
Great, thank you. I love that.
Yeah, thank you.